Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I gave this update. Y'all know Mondays are chaotic, so I've been trying to get to it all day. And I'm going to be quick because I actually have a training that I actually have to run in a little bit. But it's a big deal of the update that I want to give. So I don't know if y'all remember. I know a lot of y'all do. There was a shooting back in, I want to say, April of 2025. That was over at the Walmart on Archer Road. There was a big deal because I was telling you all that the person, Drevon Parker, who had done the shooting, should not have actually been prosecuted because it was a textbook case of stand your ground. I was telling y'all to be very leery. It was a money grab. I told y'all up front that the wife was lying. She got on her feelings. She had her sister who was like stalking my page. They had other friends that was reaching out of my inbox and saying that I might be right about a lot of stuff, but that I was going to be wrong about this. And like I always tell people, I might tell y'all a lie. I mean, a joke. I will never tell you a lie. And I'm always only going to speak when I know what I'm talking about. And I'm very, very clear about that. I was very, very clear with you all that he should not have been arrested. It was a textbook of stand your ground. I was very clear. I can't stand Ryan Nagel. I mean, like over and over. And I want to reiterate that I stated these particular things for you all. Because again, I was right. Because again, I looked at the actual facts of the goddamn case and saw it for what it actually was. So let me help you all be very, very clear. He got acquitted on all charges. One was like a murder. It was a matter of fact, let me minimize my screen so I can tell you what the three charges actually were. So one was a second degree murder charge. The other was a wait, is I pulled it up. So, but he had three like pretty major charges. I was upset because they turned around and they did a what we call pretrial detention. And that's basically where they could file a motion whenever you're charged with certain crimes where you have to sit in jail while you fight your way out of your case. People are more prone to take a plea deal instead of fighting their way out because they fear the time that they're actually looking at. And so this young man decided not to do that. His attorney was Andrew Darling out of Orlando. I told you all before I was very impressed with the actual attorney. So I just want to make sure that I recap all of these things. I want to go back up and pull what the actual charges were so I can make sure that I'm speaking intelligently because y'all always know. Because people like to pick apart what you state. And I want you to be able to go back and tell them that I told y'all that this was a money grab. And it was so disgusting to watch the dude's wife get on TikTok and all these types of things and say, well, she did it again, knowing that she's the reason that all of this actually happened. So the three charges that he actually was charged with was attempted second degree murder, homicide specified of a felony committed act that could cause death, and trespassing armed structure of a conveyance. Remember, I told you all that he was the person that had permission to be there. I told you all that the dudes and his wife caught himself confronting them outside of the store. And mind you, it's because the dude was a no good nigga and the wife had gone through his phone and called herself luring them. It was a whole bunch of this chaotic mess in the actual love triangle. And I was very clear that he was popping and locking and selling people out. And you could actually see it on the video. And they argued me down. The jury went out after 10 o'clock on Friday night. They came back and acquitted him of all charges about 3:10 a.m. on Saturday. Again, the one of the reasons that I'm also making sure that y'all know this before I actually go into my training is jury duty. This jury had three white men, one black woman, one Hispanic man, and one Hispanic woman. They report that the jury asked relevant questions. They watched the video multiple times. They were really engaged. They took a lot of notes. They took their duty as jurors seriously because it was a very diverse jury. They actually had two black alternates as well, and the black alternates sat through the trial as well. They were very deliberate about making sure that they had the right outcome. They didn't just go and already have their mind made up. They didn't just go and listen to a lot of innuendo. They actually listened to the facts of the case. And to watch so many people try to get out of jury duty and be so upset when things happen, like the things that happened with Carmelo Anthony and the things that have happened with Cyrus Matt Bolton, we're giving away so much power when we don't vote. And we're giving away so much power when we don't actually go to jury duty. It saddens me that young man spent 451 days of his life at the Alachua County Jail for for shooting someone in self-defense. And I tell y'all that again because y'all be like, oh, stand your ground. Oh, you can do this. We have systems that are broken and that do not work. That young man should not have had to give up 451 days of his life because of a husband and wife that's trifling and toxic as fuck. And when we have systems that are broken, for Ryan Nagel them to actually do everything in their power to try to prosecute him, knowing that the witnesses and the managers were clear that he's the person that had permission. Knowing that the wife was the one that was told not to go back. That I read the mitimuses. I read 3 different police reports that made it clear that she was the person that was not supposed to be there. And that he want to show that he's a big man. And while it's unfortunate that he got shot 5 times and he's got to live with that pain and those scars for the rest of his life, you also don't get the right to be sitting around playing with people. I told y'all, a person that go to shoot somebody ain't wearing no damn flip-flops. I told you all, they say that we got a right to actually carry our guns to protect ourselves. They don't get to pick and choose when that is. I cannot say enough the way I see people weigh in and give opinions about stuff they don't know about. I cannot say enough that when something come up, everybody got an answer, but ain't nobody got no work that they're willing to give or they're willing to offer. And so many of us are being screwed over and throughout the system. And I'm very clear. The same level of energy that I got when I talk about how we're mistreated in the system, I got the same level of energy when people are shady and trifling. I call con artists out every time. And the reason for that is because those types of people are the people that people utilize to justify the harm that comes to innocent people and to justify unfair sentencing and to justify unfair laws. Keep the same energy whether it look like it or not. And that's the reason I'm taking a moment to ground you all in what happened. Because I've waited. I've not seen any news articles about him being acquitted. But if he was convicted, y'all would have seen a whole bunch of news stories about it. Somebody had sent me a TikTok because the attorney had actually done it, but I wanted to make sure that I talked to the attorney. Other things that the attorney actually stated that was so shot out, that was so trifling. The state did not disclose evidence in a timely manner. And some of the evidence that they did disclose, it was so close to the actual deadlines because they called themselves trying to ambush the actual defense so that they couldn't put on a proper defense for their particular client. They was withholding pertinent evidence that exonerated this man's client. Everybody playing games. They knew that old girl had lied multiple times in their statements, and her husband, and the statements that they gave didn't align with the actual facts and the evidence. This is real stuff. And so when I got that same level of accountability, I'm gonna always keep that level of accountability. I keep the same energy. And so I take this with you. Whatever her name is, Royalty, Roy, whatever it is, you can let her know that I've done my live, that he actually went before a jury of his actual peers after they actually went through a trial in a case that that man was exonerated. And I'm going to go back to my original point that she is the cause of her husband being shot them 5 times. And for her to sit and think that it was cute, and for her to sit and name all of that she would do it again, knowing how trifling it was. We got to do better. I can't say that enough. That's all I got for you. We got to do better. I got to hop off because I got another call. I got a training I got to do. So look it up for yourself. That young man's name is Drevon Parker. He was 26 years old. He gave up 451 days of his life for a crime that he was innocent in because he was entitled. And one of the things that the defense attorney argued was when you judge this, what you're judging is was the force reasonable, not whether you like what his response was, because he was entitled to his response. And like I said, the way that people were trying to come up with different things and different conclusions from that actual video, well, we punch them, you don't get to dictate how somebody responds to you doing harm to them. So I truly hope that this helps a couple people. I truly hopes. And I told y'all when it came, I was gonna come back and told you if I was wrong, I tell you I was wrong. But I told you I didn't think that I was. And guess who was right again? Like my friend always says, sometimes the issue is never that I be wrong, is that I be too early. So I hope this helps y'all. Y'all have a good night.